Hi, everyone, and welcome to the special simulcast, the Neil Haley Show, and the Mitchell S. Karnes podcast with the host, Mitchell S. Karnes. Mitchell, what's going on? News, we got news,
Well,
don't we?
yeah, a little bit of everything. It's just kind of the waiting on good news coming. But we have book signing in Franklin, Tennessee at Landmark Booksellers tomorrow night from 5 to 7. Uh, we start shooting for Watergrave, the series, August 10th, and we have a lot of the cast uh, solidified. We still got about two-thirds to go. So he put out a call for that, and we're waiting to get back with the rest of the people. The Killer Nashville conference that comes here once a year will be here the end of August, and I've been asked to be on panels again. So I'm going to be on three different panels, serving there and sharing whatever experience that I have.
Wonderful. And what's interesting to talk about is these panels. How do you prepare for these panels?
Well, the panels are supposed to be something that you do and do well. So it's just sharing what I have. The one's called the buddy dynamic, and so two protagonists are better than one. Since I have Sam and Abbey together, that's what I'm going to be talking about. How they act kind of as a foil for each other, complementing and contrasting characteristics of each other. Other one is how to write and sell a series. So I'm going to be listening a lot on that one. And then how secondary characters drive the plot. So characters like Susan, um, Dallas, other characters that are in there, how they continue to drive that story of her rather than the story of the mystery.
Wow. Okay. Definitely an interesting process. And then when you go and you get to learn from these other authors, talk about that experience when they talk and share.
Yeah, last year it was intimidating because it was my first time to sit there with New York Times best-selling authors who have, you know, almost a million people following them and to share. But I found that niche that as a Christian author, I was the only one on the panel that was a Christian author. And so I was able to answer questions, and I had questions that I got to field just because of that little niche that I had. So I'm going to be amping that up a little bit this year and opening that up to how that works in my field, and that what they call now is called a faith adjacent genre. So it's not necessarily a solidified as a Christian, but it's faith is a part of the story. It doesn't have to be the main part of the story.
Right. And that's an interesting process, right? Looking at that and narrowing that down and looking at those specific things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it gets that niche that I've talked about before that I kept getting deleted from other publishing houses, and God knows because I was in that niche of faith adjacent rather than the Christian where it's like a hallmark where it all ends up wraps up perfectly at the end. Uh, these are gritty stories. These are stories that deal with sex trafficking. They deal with abuse. They deal with rape. They deal with um, all kinds of things, murder. But because of their faith, they're able to get through those things, and that's what the faith adjacent is.
So that's interesting. So you're talking about so regular Christian publishers would not publish it because of
They
that.
didn't want to deal with those stories because they are gritty. They offensive to some people, and they've got their following and their market, and so they're going to stick with those things that have worked for them. And so now you're seeing, even in the film industry, people are coming up and stepping up to that. A lot of these uh, actors from Hollywood are stepping out of Hollywood, starting their own studios and doing this. Kelsey Grammer, who played Frazier, he's done this one on the young Washington. He helped with that. He was in one of the stories, a Christian story about the Christmas ring. And so all of these things, they're saying, hey, I'm going to take a stand. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and I'm going to be a part of these stories. And so we're hoping that some of those people will be a part of this. That's the news I'm hoping to share somewhere along the line, but we don't have that locked in yet.
Okay. Talking about the best things you got out of Killer Nashville. Talk about that, especially when it's coming up. Just
Um, Sitting there with those people that have that huge market, finding out that we're struggling with the same things. We project the same way, and they treated me just like, an equal to all of them. And it was really nice to see and get that affirmation that, I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing this. I just got to have the exposure. Some of them just lucked upon the exposure. Some of them, had a great agent that got connections, and it's just a matter of sticking with it. And they all encouraged me to just to keep plugging at it.
Because it doesn't happen overnight. You don't get a New York Times best-selling
No,
book
in fact,
overnight.
they all
And
laughed about that overnight success story because they were in decades and decades, and then suddenly it just clicked, and everybody liked it.
how much of a click? A click.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Wow.
I think
Wow.
I was only like one or two out of the 200 or 300 people that were there that had the first time immediate success. The rest had worked and worked and worked and worked their tails off.
All right. And the filming, you were talking about the filming. Let's talk more about that. So filming begins
Yeah,
August 10th,
they're
right?
they're locking in all the locations. We had this set for January, then it got pushed back to July, then it got pushed back again to August, and then August the 2nd got pushed back to August 10th. And so a lot of the actors who had committed to that, thankfully, they're sticking with it. But some of the sites that he had reserved are now not available. So it's going to secondary sites up for that, getting the money for everything, how they're going to split this into 5 episodes. They're dealing with one possible what do you call it, investor that would like to see it possibly as a movie and then as a series. And so we'll see how that all works out, if whether it's just going to be a pilot and 4 extra episodes, or if it's going to be a theater release in small setting.
Okay. Any other news to report?
Yeah, working on book 5, and I'm excited about that. And boy, if I can pull off what I have in my mind, it'll top all 4 that I have previously.
So working on that book 5.
Oh yeah, loving it.
It sounds like it's something that you're loving. Explain further on that. Yeah.
You create these characters out of nothing, and when I first did Abbey, I probably wrote about 60 pages just of her backstory. And so to me, she's like a real person, someone that I see, I hurt with her, I celebrate with her, and writing from her voice and her eyes and her senses and her perspective, it's got a connection that I just can't explain. And so I struggle with her, and I want to see her get to the next point. And so I know that book 5 is, step 5 of 6 in this story arc. She's getting so close, and I know she's got another stumble coming ahead of her. But to watch her grow and to grow with her, and to see these secondary characters develop, where people are saying, "Oh, I identify with so and so. I identify with so and so," and those kinds of things just really, I don't know, it's exciting to see people invest in something that you've worked so hard to put out there.
Right. You invest, and then it happens. And you're like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and I put it in the newsletter that I sent you. But one lady is mad that she has to wait till January for the next next installment, and another person said, "I just want Skylar to die."
Right.
So they're emotionally invested so much that they want harm to the antagonist.
All right. I mean, I just think that a lot of big things are in the works, Mitchell. And the best place to go is mitchellskarnesauthor.com. And you can purchase a book right there, right?
Yes, and get it autographed.
Autographed. And your solo series comes out soon, very soon. Again, I don't know how many more episodes do you have of the solo series? You have more.
Solo
More to
series?
come. The solo, the ones you've been doing your solo podcasts.
Those. So I'm sorry, I was thinking of
Yeah.
books. Yeah, I'll try to do those once a week. And
Okay,
that is
great.
about my writing process, how I do it, and each step of the way.
Okay. All right. Go to mitchellskarnesauthor.com and purchase a book today. Appreciate it. That was
Thank
a
you.
special simulcast, the Neil Haley Show on the Mitchell S. Karnes Podcast, guys. Take care.